We've reached January here in Season 3 of our realistic Borussia Dortmund career mode, which of course means the opening of the transfer window. But to be honest, not sure how much business we're going to be doing. We didn't exactly spend big in the summer, but we did spend 85 million euros on Georgi Petrovic, on Arne Engels, and on Thiago Thomas. And we did, of course, bring in João Cancelo on loan with a view to making his move permanent come next summer. So I don't think we'll be adding to the first team here in January, but we may well be adding to our youth academy. Damian Ullmann is a prospect who is a long way from being first team worthy. However, he has 88 to 94 potential at just 14 years of age and 4 to 6 play styles. Thanks to all the traits that we've unlocked in the academy strand of Buzzko's CoreDNA companion tool, I'm used to being able to automatically sign the vast majority of youth prospects, but Damian Ullmann has such a high overall and potential that we're going to have to check in with the calculator. Thankfully, though, the outcome is a success. So once again, we can save that special one trait that guarantees us a signing of any prospect. We can save that for a rainy day, and we can sign Damian Ullmann. There are a couple of other German centre midfielders who could well be pairing with Ullmann in the youth squad before too long. Konstantin Meyer, Joshua Meyer, and Vincent Frenzer. I'm undecided about who I prefer at the moment, though, so I'm going to let the scouts continue to get a look at these guys. Scouts have unearthed a very intriguing looking Italian right back, though, Alessandro Franco, and overall up to 75, and the potential range looking fairly healthy as well at 71 to 94. Once again, we will have to check in with Buzzko's realistic signing calculator. This time, though, we do have a 95% chance of being able to sign Franco. And once again, it is successful. So Franco will become the second signing of this particular cycle to join the Youth Academy. However, I'm going to hold off signing any more prospects for now. There are, however, a handful of really useful looking English prospects. Joshua Clements has 71 to 85 potential, which isn't the highest. 650 in terms of his valuation is not the highest either. He has 3 to 6 play styles, and that's always something that intrigues me. Can play all across the front three as well. Charles Mitchell looks like he could potentially be solid, but that potential range is too wide for me to pull the trigger at the moment, even though he is worth £900,000 and has very, very good pace at just 16 years of age. Similar story for Max Sanderson with a massive 79 pace, but 62 to 84 is just too wide a potential range. Same for 63 to 86 potential Jasper Barber, although he has the highest valuation of the four at 1.1 million euros. So we will let the scouts continue to get a look at these guys and potentially sign one or two of them come the end of the season. Today's video is sponsored by Enigma Football, the UK's leading supplier of football shirt mystery boxes. Whether you're looking for a fun way to expand your own football shirt collection, or you're looking for a unique gift for the diehard football fan in your life, Enigma Football have got you covered. Their mystery boxes start at just $34.99, which is almost half the standard retail price, and you can be 100% sure that their shirts are authentic because they get them straight from the clubs and manufacturers themselves. And you can reduce that price even further by using code LAMBZY at the checkout for 10% off your first order. That code applies to any single football shirt mystery box, and it also applies to the first month of any mystery box subscription package, where you'll receive a fresh new shirt on your doorstep every single month. You can be sure you'll get a shirt that you like too. You can ask Enigma Football to send you a shirt from a specific league with a specific color or pattern, or to avoid certain teams, and if you still don't like what they send, you have 60 days to either return or exchange it. So head over to Enigma Football and place your order today. The link is in the description, and be sure to use code LAMBZY at the checkout for 10% off your first order. Shout out to Enigma Football for sponsoring the video and for hooking me up with a couple of shirts, including a Dortmund shirt for this series. Now let's get back to the video. Just because we're not necessarily buying players here in January, that doesn't mean that we're not selling players. We've received a very intriguing offer from Sevilla for Merlin Röhl. We had high expectations for Merlin Röhl when we brought him in at the end of season 1, but he just hasn't panned out to this point. He's played just 12 games this season so far, which is about half as many as our most commonly used players. He only has a single goal, 2 assists, a 6.12 average rating in those games played. He just hasn't kicked on and become the player that we thought he might, and he is now 24 years of age. Now, Sevilla's bid was only a little shy of 31 million euros, and that falls far short of the 49 million valuation here in Buzzko's realistic selling calculator. So it's determined that we can reject the bid. However, close to 50 million seems high for a player like Merlin Rell at this point in his career, considering his last couple of seasons. So I would be willing to accept a lower offer if we were to sell Merlin Rell. I'm not yet decided about what we're going to be doing, though. Instead, we're going to jump into our featured game and potentially make a decision after that. I'm going to show you every minute of our home game against Mainz here in the Bundesliga as we continue to try and solidify a place in the top 3. I'll show you highlights of both of our Champions League games against Marseille and against Lens as we continue to seek automatic qualification to the knockout stages, and we'll be quick simming our remaining Bundesliga games at Hamburg, against Mainz once again, against Freiburg, and to round out the episode against Borussia Mönchengladbach. So with rumours swirling about his future at the club, Merlin Rell does not feature in the match day squad. But without further ado, let's head over to Signal Iduna Park and see if the rest of the team can get the job done here against Mainz. Really caught in two minds about Merlin Rell. Really not sure what to do with the young midfielder. As we said, we brought him in with high hopes. I thought he was going to become kind of the future of our midfield, to be honest. And Marcel Sabitzer just has not given up that spot without a fight. Continues to be our starter there alongside Felix Metscher. And it doesn't look like Merlin Rell is going to be taking that spot from him anytime soon. And in fact, even Arne Engels, the new signing, has looked better than Merlin Rell. Thought that was going to drop for Felix Metscher on the edge of the box for a moment. Didn't quite. Should be a fairly comfortable game here against Mainz. Those could be famous last words, but we far outmatched them on paper. And we have been in fine form in recent episodes. So it should be an enjoyable game. Should be a game in which we score plenty of goals and hopefully keep a clean sheet, which is something we have been doing with a bit more regularity in recent games. Adeyemi is in so much space on this right-hand side. Felix Metscher with a drive and run through the middle, and of course, as soon as I try and play the pass, he changes his trajectory, just bombing forward, and then all of a sudden just dives off to the right-hand side, just for no reason, for absolutely no reason. I think Mainz are going to be easy to exploit down the flanks as well, which is always something that we look to do in games, given the abundance of pace that we have down both the right and the left-hand side. Not only with the likes of Adeyemi, Jamie Gittens, but Jan Couto coming up in support as well. So I think that could be a source of plenty of goals today. Davidson can't win it back. Mike's down the left. Adeyemi dropping into defend though. Still Mike's finds space. And on the edge of the box. Thankfully it's a harmless shot in the end. Georgi Petrovic just watches wide. It's been a little bit more steady in recent episodes, I would say, Petrovic. Had a little bit of an inconsistent, shaky start to his Dortmund career. But really starting to settle in now. And is not the goalkeeper that Gregor Kobel was. But again, Man City, 110 million. Can't really say no to either of those things. And Couto drives. Turns back though. Mainz defending very deep. That is one thing that could cause us issues today. It's how deep and compact Mainz defend when we allow them to get set up. So I think we're going to have to try and utilise that pace as early, as quickly as possible down the flanks to prevent Mainz from setting up in the first place. Because it's looking like when they do set up, they're going to be difficult to break down. Max Bayer drives this time. Shot from range. Again, harmlessly wide. Just like the Mainz chance at the other end. It's a poor effort ultimately from Max Bayer, who continues to have an unreal season. Aiming for the golden boot. Not only in the Bundesliga, but in the Champions League as well. He is on track to win golden boot at the moment in each of those competitions, especially in the Champions League. Given the previous episode, went head-to-head with Robert Lewandowski, who was level on goals with Bayer heading into the game, if I remember correctly. Bayer scored, Lewandowski didn't. So Bayer is alone at the top of the goal-scoring charts in the Champions League now. Well cut out by Schlotterbeck, who is now an 89 overall, by the way. Absolutely unreal. Adeyemi. Coco. Good run. Not quite a good enough pass. Laid it out a little too far in front of Makoko. Did Adeyemi. Didn't quite have the pace to get there. Coco, a player you would think has more pace than he actually does. He's the one player across our front four who I think isn't in the 90s, or at least close to the 90s in terms of pace. I think he's not even in the 80s in terms of pace for Coco. I think he's about 79 overall in terms of pace, sprint speed and acceleration combined. Right, chance to shoot. Save from Petrovic. Mainz proven a slightly trickier opposition than I anticipated coming into the game. Still plenty of football left to play. Still plenty of opportunities to crack the Mainz nut. But proving to be a tougher test than I initially anticipated. Kuto. Oh, lost it up towards Makoko, who almost nodded it down to Max Bayer. Jamie Gittens, I think the first time he's touched the ball, and he cuts inside onto his right. It's a good challenge at the end. Mecha. Adeyemi. Just tries to turn and shoot, but it's a good challenge again on the edge of the box. Mainz continuing to defend deep and compact when they get a chance to set up defensively. Amiri, a challenge by Mecha, and a chance to break with Makoko. Great ball over to Adeyemi. Just has to cut inside himself and relinquish possession. Amy Gittens once again. Just drives, pulls it back. Can't find Makoko. We'll go out for our first corner of the game though. João Cancelo will take. Bit of a better set piece taker now as well. João Cancelo. We're kind of relying on Marcel Sabitzer for basically everything before we brought him in. Put that in a really dangerous area. Adeyemi strikes once, strikes a second time. Bayer can't tap home the rebound. That loss of Julian Brandt was not only impactful just because of his influence from open play, but he was our only really decent set-piece taker. Kuto on the overlapping run. A couple of options at the back post, one of whom is Makoko. Brings it down on his chest, gets the shot away. And again, it's a poor shot. And half an hour into this game, we are still in search of the opening goal here against Mainz. Be really disappointing to drop points here. We've got several kind of less than stellar opponents in the Bundesliga. We've got a couple of tricky opponents in the Champions League. Marseille in particular, I think, are going to cause us some issues. But in the Bundesliga, we should be racking up point upon point in today's episode. That has to begin here against Mainz. Nicely worked by Mainz though. Challenge from Felix Mecha. Coco. deflects from Jamie Gittins. Spreads it wide to Jan Kuto. Finds Adeyemi. Just about finds Makoko. With a really good opportunity to finish, and does. His last opportunity he snatched at. This time, a little more time, a little more patience, a little more composure. Just tucked it in at that far post. And that's exactly what we said we needed to do. Utilise that pace. As soon as we turn over possession, or as soon as Mainz turn over possession, really, that's a clinical finish from Makoko. Didn't allow Mainz the chance to get set up defensively. Didn't allow them to kind of cocoon their penalty area with defensive and midfield bodies. And Makoko's season is going to continue to fly under the radar simply because Max Bayer has been so incredible. But Makoko having an excellent season in his own right, as we've said a number of times here in Season 3. 7 goals in 13 games is really not a bad tally at all. Makoko. Oh, and it's a good ball through to Jamie Gittins, but there's just going to be a little bit too much on it. It was a nice idea. Gittins not quite on the same page as Makoko, I don't think. He's kind of on the back foot rather than the front foot as Makoko played the ball through. But even if he was on the front foot, I think it was probably... there was probably a little bit too much on it. Find Jamie Gittins anyway. Zabitzer. Makoko. Oh, tries to step over, but loses control of the ball in the process. Miri again for Mainz, who have really struggled to get anything going in an attacking sense here in the first half. Forced, what, 1, possibly 2? Very comfortable saves from Petrovic. Good block from Omaracic there, though. As Mainz will take their first corner of the game as we approach half-time. Kuto heads away. Petrovic came for it, I think, wanted to claim it. Kuto wanted to be sure. Just headed clear at the near post. Did his job, to be fair. And a shot from range. First time Petrovic has been really tested. Diving away to his right-hand side. Ultimately, a relatively comfortable save. Makoko. Mecha. That's a great run from Jamie Gittins and a great ball from Felix Mecha. Jamie Gittins cuts inside, gets the shot away and hits the bar. What an unreal goal that would have been. Unbelievable control, skill from Jamie Gittins to bring that ball down, cut inside onto his right foot and get the shot away. Just got underneath it. You could see from his kind of body shape and position there that that was always going to be going over. Did hit the bar though. Mecha. Little reverse pass, trying to find Makoko. Again, Mike's cut it out. Breakaway down there, right-hand side. Our defensive left, rather. The defensive work from Makoko, though, just allowing Jamie Gittins the time to get back into his left midfield position. Mecha pressing now. Mike's looking for an equaliser before half-time. Good defending from João Cancelo. Finds Jamie Gittins. Chance to break. Finds Makoko with a... Oh, he doesn't quite find Makoko. I thought it was a pinpoint pass. I thought it was perfectly placed into the path of Yusufa Makoko, but again, just a little too much on it. Defending from Omaracic to force it back, and it's a good block from Schlotterbeck. Kuto can't prevent the corner though. So Mainz will have an opportunity to equalise here at the very end of the first half. As it's blocked with the back from Nico Schlotterbeck. Thrown out the arms in that fashion. A little dangerous. And it's Adeyemi this time who heads the ball clear. The referee is not going to allow a second Mainz corner though. So we will go into the half-time break with a 1-goal lead, thanks to Yusufa Makoko. who has made more of an impact than Max Bayer today. Max Bayer has had a very, very quiet first half. And if we're going to keep his goal-scoring streak alive, he's going to have to impose himself a little more on the game in the second period. If you're enjoying the game and today's episode, please take a second to like the video. And if you want to see more realistic FC25 content, be sure to subscribe, not just to catch the next episode of this series, but other realistic career modes, realistic rebuilds, slider updates that might be dropping in the future. And if you want to get ahead of the curve and see those kinds of videos before anybody else, consider becoming a 12th man member of the channel. Membership starts at just $1.99 a month and grants you exclusive early access to all new videos, with tier rewards scaling up from there and including the possibility of being featured in my career mode saves. Thank you to everyone who is already supporting the channel through their membership. It is genuinely very much appreciated and helps the channel to run. But now let's head back out for the second half. So no changes for either team as we emerge for the second period, where we're going to be looking to add a couple more goals to the scoreboard. I said, should be a fairly comfortable game. Should be able to rack up the goals in this one. Might strike. Get the shot away. Again blocked by Schlotterbeck, but the rebound tapped home. And it is a goal immediately to begin the second half. It's not a second Dortmund goal. It's an equalising goal for Mainz. Really, really poor defending. Complacent defending. And I guess that was the one worry heading into this game, was that it should be so comfortable that potentially we may allow ourselves to get a little bit complacent and not get the job done. And it's looking as though that could be the case here. Cancelo tries to find Gittens, cut out by Mainz. But again, have proven to be far trickier opposition than I could have anticipated, and we're really going to have to turn things on in the second half if we're going to come away with this victory. Gittens tracks back. Miri. Zabitzer needs to switch on. He's just standing and watching. Cancelo with a great challenge. Finds Makoko. Jamie Gittens out on the left-hand side, who drives. Again, cuts in onto his right foot. Just can't find an option. Nobody up in support, really. Makoko that laid the ball off to Gittens and couldn't quite get up to support the play. Oh, we've allowed Mainz in behind there. It's a great last-ditch challenge from Bekir Omaradzic, though, who continues to impress this season. Find Makoko with Gittens. Yes, we can. Pull it back for Max Bayer, and it's cut out. Last-ditch challenge. Deep in their own penalty area. Kuto drives. Finds Mecha. It's a poor pass towards Zabitzer. And we were fortunate to retain possession there. That was a really poor pass from Mecha. Zabitzer will find his midfield companion once more. Jamie Gittens. Deliver across towards the back post. Blocked in out for a corner. Still no changes for either side, but I think we are going to step up into our attacking tactical focus. Try and impart a little more pressure on Mainz. Jamie Gittens will keep the ball in play. Find Omaradzic. And Kuto, a little bit of space to drive. Three Mainz defenders lined up to defend against him, though, and Adeyemi puts it right into the arms of Juve, the Mainz keeper. All on his own in the 6-yard box, either side of the keeper, and he would have had no chance to save it, but Adeyemi puts it right into his arms. Couldn't have placed it better if he tried. And hopefully we do not come to rue that missed opportunity come the end of the game, because that was a sitter. That was the absolute definition of a sitter. Mecha strikes from range. It's a good strike, but Juve gets down well, low and away to his right-hand side to parry it away. This was what we wanted, though. A bit more pressure. will deliver the corner once again with João Cancelo. It's not into a great area. Mecha brings it down though. Lays it off for Zabitzer, who strikes, and again parried. Not away this time by Juve. Back out into a dangerous area. Was able to reclaim possession before Adeyemi was able to get in and prod the rebound home though. Zabitzer almost cut that out. Neri. Richter. Good challenge from Cancelo. Couldn't find Zabitzer though. Good interception by Zabitzer. Nico Schlotterbeck. Find Felix Mecha. Will drive forwards to try and carry the team up the field. First pass through to Yusufa Moukoko. And Max Bayer gets the shot away, but he is offside. I think he knew he was offside. Trying to thread that through for Adeyemi, to be fair. As Mainz make their first change of the game. And I think our first change or changes won't be too far behind either. I think, surprisingly, it's going to be Max Bayer to make way. I think we're going to shift Moukoko over to that poacher role on the right-hand side of the two. And allow Thiago Thomas to play that false 9 role. As this is going to be a free kick, I think, to Mainz. Not on the edge of the box, though. I was worried it was going to be from where Schlotterbeck headed that ball away. Couto just hooks clear. Good decision. Could potentially have looked to work the ball away with possession. That's a really poor pass. Coco just lays it out in front of Adeyemi, who tries to nod it inside to Bayer. That's poor. It's really poor. Adeyemi may be a player that makes way when we make our first changes to the game as well. We do have both Matoma and Julian Duranville on the bench. To make sure we don't concede here though, and it's a good block from Omaracic and a good save ultimately from Petrovic. So it will be just those two changes, Matoma and Thomas on. Adeyemi and Bayer, who ordinarily are such a dynamic threat down our right-hand side, each making way because they've both been fairly poor today. Davidson closes down after the short corner. Mainz again with an opportunity to shoot from the edge of the box. Instead they find a bit of space inside the box. Petrovic with another big save. Asks his defensive line to switch on a little bit because again is complacent defending at the moment. And Couto well positioned. Again heads clear. Gittens wins that on the edge of the box. Finds Matoma. And Thiago Thomas was completely blocked off there. I was trying to play the ball through to Thiago Thomas, who was well positioned to make a run in behind. But as he made that run, he was completely blocked off by the Mainz defender, who had no interest in playing the ball. Thiago Thomas, great feet, not once but twice. Shoots from the edge of the box. Carried away awkwardly by the keeper. Incredible feat from Thiago Thomas. Nuri Sahin looks on. Disappointed with his team's performance so far, you have to imagine. Mecha wins the header. Nods it down. Cancelo puts it into the box. Won't quite fall for Matoma or for Moukoko. Will fall for Schlotterbeck here, though. Cancelo. Just finds Jamie Gittens. Cancelo once again. Marcel Zabitzer. Thomas comes short. And it's a lunging challenge, which actually is going to be punished. Thought it looked like he won the ball there, the Mainz defender. Guess we'll see. Okay, we won't see again here. But Zabitzer will line up from some distance. Looks to be about 25 plus yards from goal. It's not a bad area. Just right of the penalty spot for Marcel Zabitzer. And it looks to be a decent free kick, to be fair. And the keeper makes a diving save, not only making the save, but holding on as well. Looked to be a decent free kick from Zabitzer, not quite enough pace on it to beat Juve. Did at least test him. That looked to be a good ball in behind. Actually, there was too much on it. Schlotterbeck intercepts easily, but Petrovic, with an awful pass, immediately puts his team in danger once again. Matoma, good run in behind. Good ball from Thomas to find him. Only Makoko in the box at the moment, though. Thomas on the edge. Curls one from the edge. And it's just wide. Might have even kissed the post on the way past. Here's that save from Juve once again. Did really well to hold on to it. I cut that a little too narrow, to be fair. I needed to be aiming a little wider. Where I had the line set up initially probably would have been good, but it looked as though it was going to be a little too far wide, so I brought it in. That just meant it was too close to the keeper. Dortmund fans airing their frustrations at the moment, though, because their team's still searching for a winning goal against inferior opposition, to say the least. Mainz this season, though, to be fair to them, like Union Berlin have been in the series so far, this season's overperformers. I believe they are 6th in the Bundesliga at the moment. Really, really sloppy play as we enter the final 10 minutes or so of the game. Good challenge from Zabitzer. Gittens can't retain possession, though. It's a really, really poor shot in the end. Petrovic will find Matoma immediately. Matoma drives, cuts it outside. Nice defender, enough pace to keep up with Matoma. And there just aren't any options. Couto did his best to get forward, but on his last legs at the moment, Couto. Probably need to take him off at some point. Thiago Thomas, where you're going, I have no idea. Great challenge from Zabitzer. Awful pass from Zabitzer. What have these last 10 minutes been? Absolutely bizarre. Zamiri, who's really pulled the strings for Mainz today. I was going to say drives forward, but kind of trundles forward. Zamiri on his last legs as well. Really, really scrappy 10 or 15 minutes of football. You can tell there's some tired legs out there. And slipped in behind. Are we going to lose to Mainz? Petrovic says no. Mainz will make another change here, though. We will make another couple of changes as well. We make our 3 remaining changes, to be exact, before Mainz take this corner. It's going to be Engels, Frankowski and Duranville each to come on. Just fresh legs as much as anything. And we could potentially have a chance to utilise those fresh legs here from the Mainz corner if we can win the ball back and launch a quick counter-attack. That would be ideal. Mainz appear to be content just to run the game out, though, until they take the shot from just outside the box, which again I thought was going to find its way into the back of the net. Couto almost, not Couto, he's not on the pitch anymore. Not sure who that was trying to make the block. Felix Metscher potentially. Either way, ball does end up rather going wide. We have 2 minutes of added time to try and find a winner here. Engels, Metscher, just about collects. Slots it in behind for Duranville, saved by Juve. That was the opportunity. As the referee's final whistle does go, Duranville not the player we wanted in that position. We would have preferred Adeyemi, but Adeyemi's made way. Duranville on the right-hand side for the last couple of moments. And unfortunately, his shot too close to Juve to really test him. Mainz keeper parries the ball away. Dortmund shirt couldn't get in for the rebound. And it's going to be a disappointing 1-1 draw to begin the episode against Mainz, who, to be fair to them, as we said, have been overperforming this season and were a tricky side to play against. And post-match, with that offer from Sevilla for Merlin Royal still on the table, I think we should negotiate with them at the very least. So once again, with rumours swirling, Merlin Royal will not feature in our second game of the episode, against Hamburg. Anton does return to the starting 11 though, as do Arne Engels and Thiago Thomas. And we do come away with a comfortable 3-0 victory. Thomas scoring 2 goals, one either side of the halftime break, before Felix and Mecha put the icing on the cake late on. With Röhl's complete absence from the matchday squad in the last 2 games, it's been no secret that something has been in the works. And Röhl does get his move, 32.5 million euros to join Sevilla in La Liga. It's a shame that it hasn't really panned out for Röhl. We did have high hopes for him. He was actually our record transfer in season 1, 23.7 million euros, but we've made close to 10 million euros back on him. And we do have a number of other options, particularly now that we are just playing the 2 true centre midfielders. We brought in Röhl when we were playing a true number 10, that Julian Brandt. He was supposed to be Julian Brandt's successor. There's just not really a place for him in the squad, as there wasn't for Julian Brandt. Sabitzer plays alongside Mecha. We've also got Eric Martel, the new signing, Arne Engels too. So not really a place for Röhl, and he just didn't really live up to the hype. I think we're really building something here at Borussia Dortmund as well. Just 5 points off the top of the Bundesliga behind Bayern Munich and Bayer Leverkusen. I'm planning on signing João Cancelo in the summer. I'm planning hopefully on achieving that objective and signing a second star player. And that sale takes us back up to just over 50 million euros in the bank that we can carry forward to next summer. Brings us to our 3rd game of the episode. Another snow game, a rematch against Mainz. This time we are traveling away from home. However, Matoma comes in on the left-hand side for this one. Frankowski at right back. And again, all we can manage is a draw. This time a board draw, just 0-0. So a couple of disappointing results in the Bundesliga in today's episode. But now we turn our attention to the Champions League, where we take on Marseille, who are just a place below us in the league table. I would say 4 points should be enough to secure automatic qualification to the knockout stages. We've been waiting for a goal from Max Bayer in today's episode, but it only took him 10 minutes to get on the score sheet against Marseille, tapping home after Jan Couto pulled the ball back across the penalty area. And this was more like the performance that we were expecting against Mainz. We were dominating Marseille from the off. And although Marseille did manage to work a handful of opportunities for themselves, Petrovic was generally equal to them. And on the stroke of halftime, Karim Adeyemi doubled our advantage. A fortunate bounce after his initial shot was blocked, allowed him through, in on goal, all alone, to make it 2. And I had to show you this goal in its entirety, because I think it might be one of the best goals I've ever scored. Tiki-taka, short passing, front to back wise. It all started with Petrovic just rolling the ball out to Koulibaly after coming to claim. He releases to Martel. Nothing to see here, just picking up the ball in midfield. Sabitzer releases to Cancelo. Lofts the ball down the line in the direction of Jamie Gittens, who plays a really nice first-time pass into Thiago Thomas. Beautiful reverse ball into Adeyemi, squared for Max Bayer, tapped home. Marseille did pull a goal back after a moment of madness at the back, but ultimately it would finish 3-1. We're hoping for an equally good result and to keep the unbeaten episode going as we take on Freiburg next in the Bundesliga. And we do each of those 2 things. Thiago Thomas again on the score sheet, Marcel Sabitzer the same, and Max Bayer with a goal in the 2nd minute adds yet another to his tally. That's 25 goals and 5 assists now in just 28 games for Max Bayer. Absolutely gaudy numbers. He's still just about top of the goal scoring charts in the Bundesliga, ahead of Harry Kane and Jamal Musiala, and he's racing away with the golden boot in the Champions League. 10 goals in 7 games. Marcus Thuram, Venderson Galeno the next closest with 7 each. Bayer will be looking to add even more to that tally as we travel to Lens in the Champions League, where a point would probably be more than enough to qualify automatically for the knockout stages. And add to his tally, he did just under half an hour into the game. Max Bayer showed that burst of pace that he's become known for, and the clinical finishing too, to put us a goal up. Yet again, we failed to keep a clean sheet. However, more complacent defending allowed Lens to pull it back to 1-1. But in the dying seconds of the game, Jakub Kiwior just lumped the ball clear. Max Bayer was underneath it, and he fired home for his and our 2nd goal. The goal which not only gave us the victory in the game, but that should see us comfortably through to the knockout stages of the Champions League. We said we likely only needed a point, but getting all 3 just make certain. And that brings us to our 7th and final game of the episode against Borussia Mönchengladbach at Borussia Park, where we'll be hoping to extend the unbeaten run. And indeed we do. Karim Adeyemi, Max Bayer with a couple of goals late on after it was a stalemate up to the 55th minute. Zabitzer opening the scoring just before the halftime break, and Sturger equalising for Mönchengladbach just after, which means that we do continue to sit 5 points behind Bayern Munich and 4 points behind Bayer Leverkusen, which I think is where we began the episode. Perhaps we were 3 points behind Leverkusen at the beginning of the episode, so they've extended their lead over us by a point, but things are pretty much as they were. We have indeed progressed to the knockout stages of the Champions League. Bayern Munich are getting caught up in the playoffs, as are Bayer Leverkusen. However, we should have a bit of a break from the Champions League for now. No break from the Bundesliga, though. 4 games to get to in the next episode against Hoffenheim, against Hamburg, against Hanover, and against Heidenheim. All the H's in the next episode. Really, it should be 12 points out of 12 there. We will, of course, have the closure of the January transfer window to get to as well. So we look forward to all of that in the next episode. I hope to see you there. Take it easy.